Hey friends, I'm Suzanne. I'm the Acting Director of Religious Exploration at the First Unitarian Society of Ithaca. I have some news to share with you about what's going on right now. First, we're going to light our chalice, just like we do at church and in our RE classes. I have the chalice lighting words posted for you right here, so you can say them along with me if you'd like to. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. Okay, let's start by taking a big deep breath. Great. Let's practice again. I'm going to count with my fingers for 4 counts. We're going to breathe in for 4 counts, we're going to hold it for 4 counts, and we're going to breathe out for 4 counts. Okay, let's try it together. Ready? Great job. That always helps me feel grounded when there's a lot going on. Some of you have already probably heard about what's going on right now. I'm going to explain it to you the way that the Unitarian Universalist leaders are explaining it to people. There's an illness going around called COVID-19 or coronavirus. It's a virus that can make people really, really sick. And it's contagious, so it means that it can spread really, really quickly. Because this illness is going around and it can spread really quickly, we've decided to make the decision to close church for a while. That means we won't be going to church or RE classes for several weeks. This wasn't an easy decision, but it was the right decision. And even though this is different and it may seem a little bit scary, it's a really amazing opportunity to practice our UU values. So we're going to talk specifically about our first principle and our 7th principle. Our first principle is we respect the inherent worth and dignity of all people. And that means each person is important. Our 7th principle is we respect the interdependent web of existence for which we are all a part of. And that means we care for our earth. So when we say each person is important, we also mean that everyone deserves to be safe and have what they need. Everyone deserves to have that, no matter who they are, where they're from, what they believe, or where they are on their journey. Everyone deserves that. This illness can affect anyone, but it's most likely to seriously impact people who are older or who already have medical conditions. So even though some of us are younger and healthier and we aren't likely to get really sick, our friends who are more likely to get seriously sick deserve to be safe and have what they need. That means that all of us, even those of us who aren't likely to get sick, need to be careful about washing our hands and spending as much time away from crowds and public places. And I know that's hard and it doesn't really seem fun. It isn't necessarily because we're worried about getting sick ourselves, but it's because we want to decrease the chances of spreading the illness to people who are already fighting with medical conditions. Those people deserve to be safe and well, and it's up to us to remember that each person is important. And honoring that right now means we have to change the way that we do some things. And that brings us to our 7th principle. Because we live in an interdependent web of existence, meaning we all depend on each other, it's up to us to do what we can to make sure our vulnerable friends are safe. We all have to do our part to hold the web together. Every part is important. We all depend on one another every day, and this situation is a big reminder of that. And I know that it isn't necessarily fair. All of the adults in your life, your parents, your caregivers, your teachers, your church staff, your RE volunteers, we all know that. And we recognize that asking you to change your routines and sit in the uncertainty of this isn't fair to you. It's okay to feel like that or to feel angry even. We understand, and we're going to keep loving you, and we're going to support you, and as we all do our parts to help our community. I've been thinking a lot lately about what Mr. Rogers said when he saw scary things happen when he was younger. He said, "My mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You'll always find people who are helping." To this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, And I always am comforted by realizing that there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in this world. We all have the chance to be helpers right now, and your grown-ups are going to keep helping you too. We're going to do RE online at Fusett for church for a while. Will include as much of our regular routine as possible. I'll be sending chalice lighting words, stories, activities that you can really easily do at home with your parents or caregivers. We're going to keep doing live story time on Facebook every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. This is how we're going to start, and I'm going to be sending some updates soon. In the meantime, your parents and caregivers all have my email address, and I welcome them to email me anytime. And if children and youth want to email and they have permission, you're welcome to email me too, as long as your family is copied in on the message. I want to hear what you're doing. I want to hear what you're seeing, which helpers you're seeing, or what kind of helper you're being. And I want to know how you're living your UU values during this time. So let's take some deep breaths again before we end. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Ready? Great. And now we're going to extinguish our chalice. So will you please join me on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. See you soon.